Magandang araw. Welcome sa ating aralin ngayon. We're gonna dive deep into something absolutely crucial for communication. Alamin natin kung paano nga ba tayo nagpapahayag ng iba't ibang pananaw or perspectives sa wikang Pilipino. Natanong mo na ba sa sarili mo minsan habang may binabasa ka? Wait, is this a fact or just an opinion? Paano ba natin nalalaman kung kaninong ideya talaga yung binabasa natin? Like, is it a universal truth or galing ba ito sa isang specific na tao? It kind of puts you in a detective mindset, di ba? Bilang mga manunulat at mambabasa, we really need to know how writers show exactly where their information comes from. That's how we make our own arguments super believable. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. Una, ano ang Pariralang Pang-ukol? Pangalawa, ang formula ng parirala. Pangatlo, mga konseptong pananaw. Pang-apat, mga pangkalahatang pananaw. Pagkatapos, pagsusuri at wastong gamit. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a buod ng aralin. Unang bahagi, ano ang Pariralang Pang-ukol? Let's build that foundation. Let's start with the absolute basics. Ano nga ba ang Pariralang Pang-ukol? Well, in English, we call this a prepositional phrase. Ito ay mga grupo ng salita na nag-uugnay ng mga ideya sa isang pangungusap. So paano natin ito makikilala? It's actually very simple. Pinangungunahan ito palagi ng isang pang-ukol, that's your preposition, at sinusundan na rito ng isang pangalan, which means noun, o kaya naman ay panghalip, which is a pronoun. Basically, they're the connectors that give context to our sentences. Ikalawang bahagi, ang formula ng parirala. Think of this just like a math equation. It's a super easy two-step formula to make these phrases work. Step 1, kailangan mo ng pang-ukol or preposition. Step 2, idagdag mo agad ang pangalan o panghalip, meaning your noun or pronoun. That's it. Kapag pinagsama mo ang dalawang ito, boom, mayroon ka na perfectong Pariralang Pang-ukol. It's literally that straightforward to spot and create. Let's see this formula in action with something we hear all the time. Listen to this weather forecast. Ayon sa pag-asa, magkakaroon ng pag-ulan mamayang hapon sa ilang bahagi ng Luzon. Now look closely at how perfectly this follows our rule. Ayon sa is our pangukol, right? And it's immediately followed by pag-asa, which is a proper noun, or panggalang pantangi. The entire phrase ayon sa pag-asa tells us exactly where the weather forecast came from. Walang kalituhan. You see how clearly it points back to pag-asa? This is the exact concept we'll use for our next tool. Ikatlong bahagi, mga konseptong pananaw. But before we go further, let me ask you something. Paano natin ipinapaalam na hindi sa atin galing ang isang ideya? Like, how do we show that an idea didn't just pop out of our own heads? Paano natin ibibigay ang tamang credit sa original na nag-isip nito without ruining the natural flow of our sentence? Ang sagot dyan ay ang paggamit ng konseptong pananaw. Ginagamit natin ang mga ito upang tukuyin ang eksaktong pinangmulan ng isang ideya, opinyon o paniniwala. Think of these phrases as your ultimate citation tool. When you use them, you're loudly and clearly telling your audience, hey, this specific person or organization said this, not me. It's all about giving credit where credit is due. So here are 7 key expressions that you're going to use all the time for this. First, we have ayon kay, or ayon sa, which literally translates to according to. Then, batay kay or batay sa, meaning based on. We also have sang-ayon kay or sang-ayon sa, which means in agreement with. Now, check out numbers 4, 6, and 7, akala ko, akala ni, and akala nang. These vividly express a presumption or belief, kind of like saying I thought or he thought. Finally, para kay or para sa, meaning for someone. Mastering these 7 gives you precise control over exactly whose perspective you're highlighting. Ikaapat na bahagi, mga pangkalahatang pananaw. I want you to picture a weighing scale in your mind right now. Sa isang panig, meron tayong sa isang banda, which means on one hand, tapos pagbalanse natin, we have sa kabilang dako, which means on the other hand. These 2 phrases are absolute magic when you want to show that you're analyzing a complex topic from multiple angles. It lets you balance general viewpoints without jumping to any biased conclusions. Let's actually test this balancing act. Check out the sentence. Sa isang banda, ang comics ay nagmula sa mga Pilipino sa mga pang-araw-araw na nagaganap sa buhay ng mamamayan. Here, sa isang banda introduces a really positive, cultural viewpoint about comic books. It's setting the stage, basically saying, okay, here is the first general perspective we need to appreciate. Now watch how smoothly we transition to the other side. Sa kabilang dako, nawawala ng focus sa gawain ang taong walang ginawa kundi magbasa ng comics. Boom! Immediately sa kabilang dako elegantly introduces the opposing, slightly negative viewpoint about reading comics too much. Notice how the author didn't take a side? They just presented both perspectives completely objectively using our general viewpoint phrases. That is high-level writing right there.
Ikalimang bahagi, pagsusuri at wastong gamit.
All right, here is your essential safety checklist to avoid the most common grammar mistakes. Step 1. Always double-check your pang-ukol, or preposition. Step 2. Ensure it is strictly followed by a noun or pronoun. At ito ang pinakamahalaga. Step 3. Never follow it immediately with a verb. Kapag nilagyan mo ng pandiwa or action word pagkatapos mismo ng pangukol, nasira na ang buong formula natin. Stick to the equation, preposition plus noun or pronoun only. No exceptions. So why does all of this matter? Bakit kailangan nating maging mainat sa paggamit nito? Well, because mastering these phrases allows you to effortlessly balance contrasting perspectives and construct incredibly powerful, objective essays. Kung gusto mong magtunog profesional na manunulat o maging isang magaling na debater sa klase, ito ang sekreto. It shows anyone listening that you can handle complex, multi-sided ideas with absolute clarity.
Ika-6 na bahagi, buod ng aralin.
Let's do a quick recap to lock this in. First, we defined Pariralang Pang-ukol as prepositional phrases that act as connectors. Second, we learned our unbreakable formula, pang-ukol plus noun or pronoun. Third, we explored specific conceptum pananaw to cite exact sources using phrases like ayon kai. And finally, we saw how to effectively balance big societal ideas using pangkalahatang pananaw with phrases like sa isang banda and sekabaling dako. Now that you have this powerful linguistic toolkit at your disposal, I want to leave you with a challenge. How will you use these specific phrases to make your next argument completely unbeatable? Sa susunod na magsulat ka ng essay o magbahagi ng opinion mo online, subukan mong gamitin ang mga formulang ito. It's a real game changer. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa akin sa araling ito. Hanggang sa muli, keep analyzing, keep questioning, and keep learning.